You're an aspiring musician who wants to play gigs, and you know that that means you have to learn a lot of songs. But where do you start? Listen, I know that learning a lot of songs and knowing what songs to learn can be an overwhelming task. So in this video, I'm going to show you some tried and true tips and techniques that will help you to build a book of tunes and help you to survive gigs just about anywhere. So the information that I'm going to give in this video is really focused towards function bands, corporate bands, wedding bands, bar bands, things of that nature. But these tips and techniques can easily cross over into original music or various genres. If by the end of this video I've earned a subscribe and a like from you, I'd love to have you on board. Also, if you think that what I'm saying here is worth sharing, go on and share the video as well. The first thing we need to do is some recon. What songs do you need to know? What I found is that these songs and the songs that you need to know are going to fall into these broad categories: Motown and soul, pop classics, rock standards, disco and funk, and modern hits. Having that information, one thing you want to do, definitely want to do, because this is where your networking happens, is you want to do some real world recon. You want to go out and see bands whenever possible and make, if you live in an area where there are a lot of bands, go see a lot of bands. Get to know people in those bands. But additionally, what I want you to do is make a note, right? Pull out your phone, get your notes app, and make note of the songs that each of these bands is playing. The next thing you want to do is do some recon on the web. Search for bands in your area that are working. A blanket search that is going to get you great results is doing something like wedding bands, whatever area you're in, or whatever area you're in, and wedding bands. And I'm specifically saying wedding bands because you're going to see the bands that are working, that are out there, that are doing events, that have calendars and all that. But here's the important thing. These bands are 9 out of 10, they're going to have their song list on their website. Now I want to show you real quick. I did a search for wedding bands. I started this search with wedding bands, Florida. And the first band that came up was Bay Kings. Now, I can tell by the logo, I've done this a while, this is a part of an agency that has sister bands in different places. I used to play with the Lucky Devils band out in the Bay Area. They also have an affiliated band in New Orleans called the Nola Dukes. This band I had not heard of, but I can tell right away that they are affiliated by the logo, and you'll see that in a second. This is the Bay Kings. Bands that are really out there, you know, doing stuff and working, they're going to typically have a nice website. They're going to have their song list. And look at this. Top 40, Motown, funk and soul, rock, pop, dance, throwbacks, etc. So here's the Nola Dukes, the same thing. Lucky Devils, the same thing. And so I'm just going to tell you with the using the top 40 as an example. What we want to do is just copy and paste. You're just going to take this, copy and paste it, and put it into a text editor. You're not going to worry about what's on the list right now. You're just going to take that information and put it into a text editor. Now look, I'm a big ChatGPT fan for a lot of different reasons, but one thing that you can do when you're organizing your list is just pop that into ChatGPT and just tell it to remove all of the duplicates. You could probably do this in Google Sheets. Couldn't remember the name. You could probably do the same thing in Google Sheets, but you just want to take this, make a list, and remove all of the duplicates. And I'll show you why in a second. Now, it's important for you to take inventory, for you to have an inventory of the songs that you're learning and the songs that you know, right? I don't know if you've ever been in a situation, you play long enough, you'll be in a situation where you'll be on the bandstand and somebody will say, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? Which is, I hate that because it's awkward silence. It's weird space. You're on the spot. You can't really think about necessarily, well, what songs do I know? Take inventory. You can pull out a list, right? Spotlister is a tool that I found a while back. There are other tools like this. I'm partial to Spotlister because I've used it a lot. So we're going to go, and of course, obviously, this part of it is applicable to Spotify users. I think, most people have, a Spotify account. Paste that into Spotlister. It's going to do its thing. Now, I'm a fan of supporting people. If you want to buy whoever created this a coffee, you can do this because this is a great tool. But what you see here is it has scoured and it's found all these, it's found the songs and then give it a title, create that playlist. And now that playlist is in your Spotify account. Start learning those songs. That's your inventory. Do that for all of the other broad categories that we talked about, right? Your rock tunes, all of that. But remember, I took all those songs from different bands, right? Most bands are going to play. Now, I'm currently in New Orleans and it's actually snowing today in New Orleans. There's no such thing as climate change. Looks like a change in climate to me. But we have tunes down here that we will play that are unique to this area, right? There's a song called Haters. It's like a Zydeco song that we play. We play Back That Ass Up, a lot because Juvenile's from New Orleans. So those are like, you'll have songs that are, calling Baton Rouge, when we do gigs in Baton Rouge or whatever. So, there will be outliers, but this is most def going to get you started. Hey, listen, also, while I have you here, go over to tedtalksbase.net or tedtalksbase.com. Sign up for your 10-day free trial for the Groove School. I use a song-first approach. Songs like this to help bass players just like you play the bass guitar with more confidence. 10-day free trial, link below. Now, once you got this list of songs, what you need to start doing is listening. Even before you pick up your instrument, you want to be listening to those tunes, okay? Listen for the form. Listen for any cues, like lyrical cues, breakdowns, different things like that. Learn to identify verses, choruses, breakdowns. All that stuff is important. Start really just listening, not just to the bass, but to the entire song. If you've got your playlist, man, on your way to work, on a walk, whatever you're doing, put that on. Start singing along to these songs, right? This is going to be, kind of get them ingrained in your brain subliminally, even in a way that you can fake your way through the tunes, which is a big part of being a working musician, is being able to fake your way through a tune, right? Look for similarities between songs. A lot of these tunes, folks are going to mash up together, and it'll be so much easier for you to fake your way through songs when you are familiar with them. Now, when you get into your practice time, start picking them apart. This video, I don't want this video to be too long, and it's sort of beyond the scope of this video, but, start listening to your part, right? Listen to your part, work in small chunks, see how other instruments play against or with your part, right? You can use a tool like Songmaster Pro that I talk about all the time. Also, I go live on this channel twice a month with how this groove works. So we start picking apart songs and bass lines, and I show some tips and techniques on how to learn a bass part. But that's going to apply to any instrument or vocal, but at a certain point, there's a book of tunes, right? The My Girls, September, Let's Groove, Brick House, Billie Jean, Rock With You, At Last. There's like a book of tunes, Boogie Oogie Oogie. Don't like that song. That we should just know. We should know and be able to pull out on a moment's notice. this is how you start building that muscle. Listen, I think context is important, and learning the bass guitar, especially without some context, makes it a little bit harder than it needs to be. Every song that you learn is going to teach you something different, something new. All right. So if there's been any aha moments in this video, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if you are aspiring to get out there and jam with friends, or if you really want to get out there and be a working musician. Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Again, if you need more help with this stuff, I use a song-first approach over at the Groove School. Link below. I'd love to see you over there. Again, if I have earned your subscribe, I'd love to have you over here. All right. So groove first, groove hard, groove always. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Two fingers.